Season 1. The Vanishing of Will Byers. Hawkins, Indiana, 1983. A small town about to collide with something unimaginably dark. 12-year-old Will Byers bikes home after a night of Dungeons & Dragons with his best friends Mike Wheeler, Lucas Sinclair, and Dustin Henderson. But something stalks him in the woods. The lights in his house flicker, the lock on his shed snaps open, and a creature drags him into a nightmare world later known as the upside-down Will Byers is gone. Meanwhile, at the Hawkins National Laboratory, alarms blare deep underground. A breach has occurred. Something escaped during a psychic experiment involving a child test subject. That child appears the next night. A girl with a shaved head barely speaking, wearing a hospital gown branded with a tattoo reading 011. The world will come to know her as 11. Mike, Lucas, and Dustin discover her while searching for Will during a storm and decide to hide her in Mike's basement. 11 reveals she has telekinetic powers, and through fragmented words, the boys learn she knows something about Will's disappearance. Will's mother, Joyce Byers, refuses to accept that her son is simply gone. Lights in her house flicker, bulbs burst, and she hears Will's voice through the walls. She strings up Christmas lights and communicates with him. He spells out one message: R-U-N. The threat has a form. An otherworldly predator the boys later call the Demogorgon. It hunts through space by tearing through temporary rifts between worlds, and one of those rifts is open. Right in Hawkins, Nancy Wheeler, Mike's older sister, searches for her missing best friend Barbara Holland, who vanished at a house party hosted by Nancy's boyfriend, Steve Harrington. Barbara is taken by the same creature, haunting Will. Chief Jim Hopper, drawn into the investigation, uncovers the lab's secrets. He realizes Will is alive in the Upside Down and that Hawkins' lab staged a fake body. Hopper forces his way inside the parallel dimension with Joyce and rescues Will, barely clinging to life. At the same time, 11 sacrifices herself to destroy the Demogorgon in the middle school, vanishing in a burst of psychic energy. In the aftermath, Hopper leaves Eggos in the woods. Someone is eating them. Will coughs up a slug and flashes into the Upside Down. Hawkins is not safe. Not anymore. Season 1 ends with a truth impossible to ignore. The gate is open. The war has begun. Season 2. The gate corrupts Hawkins. 1 year after the events of Season 1, Hawkins is still infected by something no one fully understands. Will Byers has returned, but he's not the same. He suffers visions of the Upside Down, storms of ash, a towering shadow with spidery limbs stretching across the sky. Doctors from Hawkins' lab, now under new leadership by Dr. Sam Owens, diagnose him with PTSD, but Will insists it's real. Meanwhile, 11 isn't dead. She survived her battle with the Demogorgon and has been secretly living in the woods, taken in by Chief Hopper, who now hides her in a cabin far outside town. She grows restless, longing to see Mike, who hasn't stopped trying to reach her over the radio for 352 days. Hawkins tries to move on. A new arcade, a new school year, and 2 new kids. Max Mayfield, a tough, red-headed skateboarder. Her hostile stepbrother, Billy Hargrove, whose rage burns in every scene. Dustin finds a strange creature outside his house after Halloween and keeps it as a pet, naming it D'Artagnan, Dart. Soon, it grows legs, then sharp teeth. It's a juvenile Demogorgon, a Demodog. There are more, many more. The monster from Will's visions is revealed as the Mind Flayer, an entity commanding the Upside Down. It infects Will, using him as a host. Will becomes its spy, forced to expose the location of everyone trying to fight it. Joyce, Hopper, Nancy, Jonathan, Steve, Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and now Max must unite. Nancy and Jonathan expose Hawkins' lab to the public. Steve becomes the older brother figure the boys never knew they needed. Wielding his iconic nail-studded baseball bat against the Demodogs, 11 begins her own journey of identity. She finds her long-lost mother and discovers she was stolen as an infant for Project MKUltra. She meets Kaylee, 8, another experiment with powers of illusion, but ultimately chooses to return to Hawkins because her family is there. The Mind Flayer's army launches its assault beneath the lab. In the tunnels, the monster's corruption spreads like a living virus. There is only one way to stop it: close the gate. With Hopper by her side, 11 channels her rage, her memories, and her power. She seals the gate, screaming, as the Upside Down is pushed back. For a moment, Hawkins breathes again. Snow falls at the school's winter ball. Mike and 11 dance. So do Lucas and Max. But in the Upside Down, the Mind Flayer looms over Hawkins Middle School. Watching Season 2 ends with one chilling certainty. The war is not over. It's evolving. Season 3. The Mind Flayer Reborn. Summer 1985. Hawkins is obsessed with the newly opened Starcourt Mall, a bright symbol of American consumerism, and a front for something far darker. The Soviets have arrived in Hawkins. Beneath Starcourt, they're using a massive machine to reopen the gate to the Upside Down. The attempt sends ripples of power through the town. Life seems normal on the surface. Mike and 11 are a couple, constantly supervised by a disapproving Hopper who struggles between fatherhood and fear of losing her. Lucas and Max are together. Dustin returns from summer camp claiming he has a girlfriend named Susie, whom no one believes exists. Steve Harrington now works at Scoops Ahoy with newcomer Robin Buckley, forming one of the show's best comedic duos. But Will senses it first. He's back. The Mind Flayer has returned, now body-hopping in the real world. It first takes control of Billy Hargrove, turning him into a puppet for its plans. Billy kidnaps townspeople, melting their bodies into a growing, grotesque flesh monster. Nancy and Jonathan investigate strange reports of rabid rats. They soon learn the truth. The creature is building a physical army to hunt 11 and anyone who stands in its way. Meanwhile, Dustin intercepts a secret Russian transmission and forms the beloved team, Scoop's Troop. Dustin, Steve, Robin, and Lucas's younger sister, Erica Sinclair. They discover the secret underground base beneath Starcourt, complete with guards, laboratories, and the gate-opening laser. They are captured, drugged, and interrogated, but their chaotic teamwork helps them escape. As the Mind Flayer's monster grows stronger, Hopper teams up with Joyce Byers and paranoid conspiracy theorist Murray Bauman. They track a Russian scientist, Alexei, who reveals that only destroying the machine will stop the gate. Alexei becomes a fan favorite right before he's killed at the Hawkins Fun Fair, devastating Murray. The final battle erupts at Starcourt Mall 11. Weakened after a brutal confrontation with the Mind Flayer, can't use her powers. The creature corners the kids, but Billy, trapped between possession and humanity, remembers Max. He sacrifices himself, allowing the others time to escape. Deep underground, Hopper and Joyce manually destroy the machine. The gate collapses. The explosion appears to kill Hopper. The government returns to contain the disaster. Joyce, shattered, moves Will and Jonathan away from Hawkins, taking 11 with her. But in a post-credit scene far away in Kamchatka, a prison guard speaks a single line, "Not the American." Hopper isn't dead. Season 3 closes on one truth. The war is global now. Season 4, Vecna Awakens, Spring 1986. Hawkins is cursed again, but this time, the terror has a name. Across town, teenagers begin dying in horrific ways. Bones snapping, eyes crushed inward, bodies levitating. It starts with Chrissy Cunningham, a cheerleader haunted by traumatic visions. The town blames one person, Eddie Munson, leader of the Hellfire Club, D&D fanatic, metalhead, and misunderstood outcast. Chrissy dies in his trailer, and Eddie goes on the run. The real killer is Vecna, a powerful psychic monster from the Upside Down who preys on trauma and guilt. His victims all share a pattern: hallucinations, clocks chiming, and visions of past tragedy before Vecna takes them. 11, living in California with Joyce, Will, and Jonathan, struggles with losing her powers. Bullied and isolated, she attacks a girl with a roller skate and is arrested. But Dr. Owens offers a solution: a chance to restore her abilities through a return to Project Nina, a secret facility where Dr. Brenner, Papa, still lives. She undergoes horrifying memory training and discovers the truth long buried. Before she opened the gate, there was one, a deadly child experiment who became Hawkins' lab orderly Henry Creel, the boy who murdered his family in 1959. 11 tried to stop him, and in the process, she blasted him into the Upside Down, where he transformed into Vecna. Meanwhile, in Hawkins, Nancy, Steve, Robin, Dustin, Lucas, and Max investigate the murders. Max becomes Vecna's next target, guilt-ridden over Billy's death. In one of the series' most iconic moments, she escapes Vecna through the power of Kate Bush's "Running Up That Hill." The group realizes all the gates appear at Vecna's murder sites, linking the real world and the Upside Down. In Russia, Hopper is alive, imprisoned in a Soviet gulag with a Demogorgon. Joyce and Murray launch a rescue mission, infiltrate the prison, and free Hopper, finally giving him and Joyce the reunion fans waited for since Season 1. As Hawkins prepares for a final confrontation, the teams divide across continents but fight toward one goal: kill Vecna. Max volunteers as Bait 11 faces Vecna in a psychic battle. The others attack his physical body in the Upside Down. They succeed, but not in time. Vecna's curse kills Max. 11 restarts her heart, but Max is left brain dead, and Lucas holds her, sobbing. The 4 gates Vecna opened tear Hawkins apart. The Upside Down begins bleeding into the real world. Season 4 ends with a chilling realization: the final battle isn't coming. It's here.